Let's turn our attention to another big threat right now, and that is Hurricane Isaias. The U.S. state of Florida bracing for the storm, but right now it is bearing down on the Bahamas, all while the island is dealing with its own spike of coronavirus cases. Let's get the latest now from meteorologist Tyler Maudlin. What are you hearing there?
So we're still seeing that storm strengthening, and it's now a system with 140 km/h winds, gusting as high as 160. Now, this is the first hurricane to hit the Bahamas since Dorian of last year, and you remember the devastating impact that Dorian left. So, and they still haven't fully recovered from that. So this is really not a sight that you want to see going over the Bahamas right now. It's going to continue to push to the northwest at 23 km/h, and that puts it right off the doorstep of South Florida and East Florida too by the time we get to Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and Sunday evening. It's a real slow mover by the time it gets here, and there's the possibility that it could continue to strengthen too. We're still going to see a Category 1 hurricane, but the possibility of it becoming a very strong Category 1 hurricane, that is certainly possible. Once we get to Monday, we are looking at it losing its punch and becoming a tropical storm, making landfall around Charleston to Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, somewhere around the Carolina coastline, continuing to move north, and New York and Boston. You are going to get impacted by a tropical storm. Can you believe that? Crazy. All the reds that you see here, that is the hurricane warning in effect. You can see all of the Bahamas in that red shading area, or in that red shading, and then right here across the east coast of Florida, from Boca Raton all the way up to nearly Flagler, Florida, that is the hurricane force, the hurricane warning, because you'll see hurricane force conditions. Once you get a little farther out from the coastline, you see the blues, and that blue indicates the tropical storm warnings, because once you get a little farther away from the coastline, the winds start to lose their punch just a little bit. But right along the coastline, models are in good agreement that the storm, Hurricane Isaias, will go right up the coastline, potentially grazing the coastline, and then eventually going up the eastern seaboard. Very good consensus with that. But the models, the two models that we really watched, the GFS and the European, they were differing in their exact track, but they've since come in better agreement. The GFS now has a strong hurricane right offshore of the Treasure Coast Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, and now the European also has a strong hurricane right offshore of the Florida coastline too, but it's a little slower, and unfortunately when it grazes up against the coastline around that time, Michael, that coincides with high tide, so that's going to lead to the potential for even stronger storm surge and flooding.
Tyler Maudlin, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Keep an eye on it. Let us know if there's any change. I want to go to journalist Matthew Moxie now, who joins me now from Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas. The Bahamas still not fully recovered from Hurricane Dorian last year. What is the situation there?
Right. Although we are 5 hours away from this storm over the capital, there are already reports in the coastal communities of increased winds. Forecasted predicts Hurricane Isaias will be here by 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the Bahamas is a chain of islands stretching across some 1,000 square feet of water. Hurricane Isaias centered southwest of Great Exuma in the central Bahamas and continues to move into the northwest Bahamas with heavy showers and strong thunderstorms, along with hurricane to tropical storm force winds continuing across the central Bahamas. Now, Hurricane Isaias also brought heavy rain and strong tropical storm force winds over Long Island and other central islands of the Bahamas, with some northwestern islands now experiencing adverse weather. Reports from the southern islands indicate that there was no severe damage. At last report, we were told by the Long Island administrator that there were 13 people at shelters on the island. Electricity on some islands were turned off in certain areas categorized as high risk. The electrical shutoffs are also expected to impact us here in the capital, as heavy rain and strong tropical storm force winds are expected to ensue any minute now. The public hospital on New Providence also suspending operations at its outpatient pharmacy, family medicine clinic, blood bank, and maternity services during the storm. This, as they say, the emergency department will only be seeing emergency patients. They are asking everyone with non-emergent matters to stay at home at this time. Now, further further north on Grand Bahama, residents in 20 communities along the coast and other vulnerable areas are being advised to evacuate by the government. This comes as the island, still recovering a devastating blow from Category 5 Dorian last year, is forecast to experience 3 to 5 feet storm surge as the system brushes the island on later today. Now, the official shelter count, we are told, has been increased from 4 to 8 on that island. But this storm really comes as a blow as the Bahamas is experiencing a significant resurge of COVID-19 cases, with cases now nearing 600. Before the borders reopened on July 1 to international travel, the cases were just over 100. 1 month later, the Bahamas now has a total of 574 cases.
All right, Matthew Moxie there in the Bahamas. Appreciate it. Good luck there. We'll stay in touch.